Hello and welcome to Superfancast. My name is Chris. I'm joined by Matt, and this is Season 1, Episode 4 of The Verve.
Yeah, and after 2 weeks, I'm starting to see Richard Ashcroft as some kind of Jedi ghost telling me weird wisdom, because he's very interesting, charismatic character. I can't get him out of my head sometimes. So I'm glad that we've got these 2 weeks over, so I can have a break from Ashcroft.
Should have a break for him now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very full on, isn't he?
Yeah. He's mesmerizing, in a weird way. Just him talking in interviews. Yeah,
he's not
he's
so much
got
now,
this.
though. Have you seen recent interviews with him?
Yeah, he's a lot more subdued now.
Yeah. Now that he's shaved his head, he's lost a lot of his charisma with shaving his head.
Oh yeah, a bit like Samson.
Yeah, exactly like Samson.
Yeah.
So is that all for 2 weeks? That all you've listened to is Richard Ashcroft?
I've been listening to the Verve, but then they've only got 4 albums, which is a bit of a break from last time with Mogwai's ridiculous catalogue of music. I'm a huge sucker for bands with really good names.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine was like, you got to check out King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. I'm really impressed with these guys, and I think I might make them my new obsession. So they've been around since 2010, 2011, and they've done 18 studio albums.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't realise they'd done that much.
Yeah, 5 of which was in the same year. They've done
that sounds a little bit Buckethead, that does. Were they just jam sessions?
Well, some of them are. I mean, they do microtonal jazz and psychedelic rock and all sorts of weird stuff. And they use microtonal guitars, which have got different shaped frets on them, so they get different notes that you don't normally find in Western music.
Right.
But you do find in, Middle Eastern music, Indian music. There's their vocalist. He plays the sitar sometimes, which makes sense. It goes with that. And also they've got 2 drummers.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, you watch videos of them, and it's like there's these 2 drummers just like staring at each other, just like playing almost the exact same thing in this weird drumming contest. It looks like, but they're so in sync with each other, and they're even playing fills together. It's really impressive, actually.
If they're playing together, can you see the benefit of having 2 drummers?
Well, I was looking this up because I didn't quite understand it, but for one, it's power and volume, naturally, but also they do have points when one of them is playing a steady beat and the other one is doing more intricate fills or solos and things like that. So that's an interesting way of doing it. I guess it's a bit like having a 4-armed drummer.
I guess, yeah. If that's something you're going for, if you've ever been in a band and thought, I wish I had a 4-armed drummer.
Yeah, well, that's the way around it. You just get two drummers.
Nailed it.
Yeah. So I love these guys. I really like them. So if anyone out there is interested, check them out. I mean, one of their albums is called The Flying Microtonal Banana. It's got
to check them out, isn't it?
I don't even need to tell you anything about it. Just check it out for the name, and check out a video called Rattlesnake where they're flying in a weird green screen desert. There's 90s CGI rattlesnakes jumping out at you. And it's really trippy. It's great fun. I really like them.
And what was the other track that you sent me?
I can't remember, but the video again.
The singer's dressed
again,
up like a maggot, isn't he?
He's dressed up as in a cocoon, and then later on in the video, he's like a butterfly, and everyone's dancing around like woo. And they've got four of them are playing pianos.
Yeah, that's strange.
In the song.
At least 2 on pianos, and maybe the other 2 are keys. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's just a weird setup. The whole band is a bit of an odd setup. And one of the piano players, or one of the key players, who's got his back to us, he's standing and dancing around whilst he's playing, whilst everyone else is seated. It's just very strange.
It's very strange, but yeah, I do like it. I really like them a lot. I've also been listening to Yazoo. You know Yazoo?
I don't know Yazoo, no.
They're a duo from the 1980s. They had like 2 albums. The singer's Alison Moyet, who's absolutely fantastic.
Right. Well, I know Alison Moyet, but I didn't know she was in a group.
Yeah, and the other guy, I'm gonna look up his name, and I'm sorry to him because that's but that's the way it goes when you're next to such a charismatic singer. Yeah, Vince Clarke. He was with Depeche Mode and Erasure. Very clever guy. Yeah, I like them a lot.
I've not been branching out much in the last 2 weeks, to be honest. I've listened to a lot of Richard Ashcroft and the Verve. Also, I wasn't very well this week, unfortunately. So, yeah, sob story. So yeah, not been listening to much. I did enjoy listening to Mr. Ray's Wig World.
Yeah. So tell me a bit about them.
Yeah. So I was looking at some early Verve gigs, and one of the first shows they headlined, where they weren't supporting someone, they had a support act, Mr. Ray's Wig World. And I thought that's a cool name. So I looked them up, and unfortunately it doesn't look like they ever had much of a career. I can't see that they ever released a full album. I could be wrong though, so if anyone knows Mr. Ray's Wig World, or if Mr. Ray's Wig World are listening, get in touch, because I'd definitely like to hear more. But it doesn't look like they ever had an album. It looks like they released a couple of EPs, and then that was it. And it's not super easy to find their music, but what I have heard of them is really cool. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's very strange, the stuff that you sent me.
Yeah, it's good fun.
Maybe they opened up a wig shop.
Maybe they did, yeah. It's a good name, isn't it? Mr. Ray's Wig World.
For all your wig needs.
And other than that, not been listening to much else. I've still been listening to Ariel, still enjoying Ariel. And I have obviously listened to a little bit of My Vitriol this week because I've been trying to get, there's a chap at work I've been trying to get onto My Vitriol.
Oh yeah, this is your gospel message, isn't it? You listen to My Vitriol, greatest band of all time.
It's my aim to get everyone in the world onto My Vitriol.
Right. Okay. So this is the whole point of this podcast, isn't it? You're just trying to spread the word.
Yeah, just to inject a bit of My Vitriol into everyone's lives.
Yeah. Have they paid you to do that?
They're not even paying me. No.
Oh, right. Okay. Good luck with that.
We did decorate the office, so I'm doing this from a desk for the first time.
Oh, what do you normally do?
We had lots of boxes, so I had the laptop on top of boxes.
Oh, wow.
Now I've got a nice big desk, and it might be a little bit echoey because I need more furniture in here. So
yeah, it sounds like you're in a canyon.
Yeah, we'll just pretend that's the sound that I'm going for.
Yeah.
Alrighty, shall we get into some Verve?
Yeah, go on then.
The Verve were an English rock band from Wigan that formed in 1990. They were made up of Richard Ashcroft on vocals, Nick McCabe guitar, Simon Jones on bass, and Peter Salisbury on drums. After releasing 2 studio albums in 93 and 95, Ashcroft broke up the band only to partially reform again a few weeks later. And then the whole band got together to record their 3rd studio album, Urban Hymns, which was released in 97 and went on to be one of the best-selling albums in UK chart history.
19th best-selling album.
Is it 19th? I mean, it's very impressive, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
After a series of incidents spanning the years following Urban Hymns, band announced their split again in April 1999. All members focused on other projects to varying success until 2007 when a reunion tour was announced, and a 4th album was then released in 2008, reaching number 1 again in the UK album charts. And another year later, they split a final time. And to date, that is the end of the Verve.
Yes, definitely.
What an absolute roller coaster.
Yeah, very interesting history of a band that haven't actually been together as long as other bands that we've looked at.
Yeah, they've not been together. I mean, if you take out all the gaps, at very most, you've got 10 years, but not that much.
Yeah.
So it's not been it's just been an absolute roller coaster. They just don't. Yeah, I mean we'll get into it, but they just seem like they shouldn't be around each other. They should do separate things. Just move on.
They should have restraining orders on each other.
Yeah, they really should. What's your history with the Verve?
I almost no history at all. Obviously I'd heard the singles from Urban Hymns because like everybody else in the world, because they're on the radio so much. And I remember in sociology class at school, this was like our introduction to sociology. My teacher was like this, interesting bohemian lady. She put on Bittersweet Symphony video and the song, and she was like, "This is what society is like." I was like, "Whoa, that's deep. I want to know more." And that was the end of the discussion. So, apart from that, no, I didn't know anything about them. at all, at all. And I was very surprised when I heard their earlier stuff, just how different it was, and how much I liked it. Because I'm not really, I'm like you. When there's a band that's very popular and very iconic, I kind of avoid them. I tend to get put off. So I didn't think I would enjoy listening to them, but I really do. I really do like them. What was your history?
So similarly, I mean, I knew the singles off Urban Hymns, but actually I didn't. Oh, I'll start from the beginning. So I remember I saw Richard Ashcroft in 2000. I went to a festival with an aunt of mine. She was the cool aunt.
Mm.
She took me to a festival, and Richard Ashcroft was there, and I was really in awe of him. But I think mostly I really liked his music, but also because it was the first big festival that I'd ever been to, and I was like 15 years old or something, and so I was impressionable, and so I thought he was amazing. And that was around the time that Alone with Everybody came out, so that image on the front cover of that album of him with the sunglasses on, he just looked super cool, and I remember buying some sunglasses that looked similar to that, and I had kind of like the mop of hair similar to his, and I just thought he was cool. You know, I was a underweight alternative kid like him, and thought, yeah, this dude's awesome. But I must say that I'm ashamed to admit that I think a lot of the singles from Urban Hymns I mistook for Richard Ashcroft's solo career.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I really thought that. In fact, I probably didn't think about it too much, but I reckon if you'd have asked me a month ago, The Drugs Don't Work was a Richard Ashcroft song, I wouldn't have known that was a Verve song. And probably also Sonnet and Lucky Man, I think.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because I watched an interview of him, and he was talking about his solo stuff, and he said that actually when people talk about his first solo album, he gets a bit frustrated, because to him, he sees Urban Hymns as his first solo album. That's what he said.
Yeah, I know he does, but we'll talk about that a bit more. I think that he's a bit arrogant for thinking that, because it wouldn't have been Urban Hymns if it was his. Like, yeah, we'll get into that. It's
yeah, we will.
That's just Rich Ashcroft's arrogance. So that was how it started with me, and I did enjoy that. I enjoyed Alone with Everybody around that time, you know, when I was late teens. And then since then, I've been aware of Richard Ashcroft and aware of the Verve, but I absolutely didn't know, like you, didn't know anything about Northern Soul and Storm in Heaven. Had no idea that they'd started out with that kind of sound, and that's about it, really. So let's get into it. I've got some questions to get a bit deeper into Richard and his gang.
Richard and the gang.
Richard and the gang. Okay. That was originally the name of the band.
I'm sure that's what you wanted.
They decided against Richard and the gang. So, Matthew, I will ask 5 questions to help us discover a bit more about the band. We will then be asking those 5 questions to a self-proclaimed superfan to find out if they are a fan or a fraud. Today's superfan is Jesse from St. Louis, Missouri, who we'll be talking to a little bit later. You're going to get 1 point per correct answer, and if you get 5 points, you'll be a superfan. If you get 0 points, you're not invited back to the next episode.
Oh, really? Really?
I'll do it on my
Good
own.
luck with that.
No, you're going to get at least 1. If you get 1 point, you are barely conscious, we said. If you get 2 points, you're vaguely interested. 3 points. This is where I got stumped last time as well. I need to plan ahead. 3 points. Okay, we'll think of that. Before the next episode, we'll have a 3 points and a 4 points.
Wasn't 3 points I'd buy an album?
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So 3 points, you'd commit to buying an album. 4 points. Okay, we'll get something in writing. We'll sort it out.
Well, right now I feel barely conscious.
Speak to our lawyers.
So.
Yeah. So question 1.